Okay, let's try this again. That was an adventure. Try and use Facebook, and they change everything around, and then it starts complaining in the middle of the call. So, uh, anyways, so this is October 1st, 2020. I had a very strange night last night in the early morning hours of today at about 3 a.m. I can't describe it any other way than waking up to the illusion. Um, for the last several years, I've had this kind of, I don't know how else to describe it. It feels like a harness or a numbness in parts in my chest, but mostly just across the skin on the back of my, most of my center of my back, behind my heart, etc. And I knew there was stuff attached there, and there was like, how to describe it, a cage that was attached to my heart, and it was making it very hard to wake up. It was making it very hard to be happy. It was just causing me a lot of pain and discomfort all the time. And for the first time, no matter how many times I've looked at it in the past, last night I all of a sudden saw this weave. I don't know how else to describe it. It was kind of like a weaved mesh that was somehow embedded right into my skin, and it was choking off blood supply, nerve supply, sensations, etc. And it was all related to money, debt, taxation, and all this stuff that I was trapped in. Especially as a man, I am in my integrity to follow through with my agreements and follow through with my obligations, etc. And I saw it, and it was disgusting. And also in that moment, I also saw that it was agreements that I had made unknowingly and by obligation. Like, let's say your parents told you you needed to do it, or society told you you needed to do it, so you just did it out of obligation. It doesn't mean you agreed with it. You just felt that being a good person was to have those binds placed upon you. And I saw it, and it was killing me. It was really dark, and it had nothing to do with commitments, etc. It was just darkness trying to squash me. And I can see the flip side of it also. There's a light to it. It bound me to slow me down. It kept me from awakening too quickly. But last night I basically saw that it no longer served me. And then once I started to tear up that illusion of the money and the debt and all the banking and government and taxation and everything that was binding me and trying to smother me to death, literally, as an energy, that's what its role was to keep you down and keep you limited and keep you small. It had taken a good chunk of my life from me, struggling on a treadmill, trying to serve these debts and these fucking minions of darkness where all they wanted was money and power and whatever, and they'd bind and contract with anyone to slow you down, to get you to learn some lesson that you agreed to, and we knowingly as a higher self agreed to it and bound to it and allowed it to happen and veiled it from ourselves so that we didn't wake up too quick. And that's where the hard part is. It's kind of like there's a good and a light in that dark thing, because I've always said the darkest dark is the lightest light. It served a purpose, but it also had a whole bunch of negative intent and other things with it, and we've agreed to bind with many of these things. Some of the attacks we have in our life, or spouses we bring into our life, or parents that abuse us or attack us, or whatever, they are all entities or parts of this collective that maybe have a lower vibration, and other dark entities come through them, and they serve a purpose. But those purposes are falling away now. Those needs for so much malevolence and anger is no longer serving anyone, and we're now getting the visibility to be able to step out of the illusion. So the illusion is that we're not worthy and we somehow deserve this, and that being human doesn't allow us to have choice, or whatever the negative intention is, or burying us under the burden of debt and putting us in a cage that says I have to pay them before I can even feed myself. And it puts us in fight or flight, trying to protect our children or protect our home or whatever. And I saw it all last night. And you're probably seeing levels of it, the things that you don't like, you can't stand anymore, you don't know how to get out from under, and they feel insidious and heavy and just like sitting on your chest or back all the time. And I sat and I just stared at it for a long time, and I felt the energy in my back, and this sadness came, this frustration. Sorry, my knees are shaking a little bit, I'm trying to move the energy, but I saw it. I saw a purpose to it. And I also saw how it had limited my life so deeply, and it crushed me. And yes, I chose that, and I take self-responsibility for it, and I take accountability for it, but no fucking more. I stood there and I fucking ended that experience over and over and over for probably 2 hours. Just saying, no more. I end this experience. This no longer serves me. This is bullshit. This illusion, this fucking soul crushing collective bullshit where everybody's wounds and nobody's self-responsible, and nobody wants to do their work. They just want to poke and project and blame everybody that's doing the work so they don't have to, and they can stay in this. In a lot of ways, at that energetic level, was a rotting cesspool, because there was no end to it. There was no end that they'd ever get enough money or make you die or whatever. They just wanted to control and overtake and overpower. And I just kept ending the experience for me and ending the experience. And there's going to be tons of people that have the same experience where you're just servicing debt, and there's no way you can get above it. And the entities just phone you up and complain and phone you and do these things and just keep crushing you. But you got to remember this, and this was the most important part, is I chose it. And that self-responsibility, that choice, that accountability, that stepping out of victimhood, and that's taking back of the power is the only choice. It steps you out of the illusion. It steps you out of these contracts. It steps you out of what you didn't think you have control over. And that's the choice. And that's what we're being forced to do right now, is to go be crushed by these things and to eventually make a choice and say, I am a part of God. And that part of God will no longer contract or be victim to or have its power taken by entities of darkness or malevolence that have no wish to do anything other than to bind and hurt and crush. And yes, those energies have a purpose. Yes, those energies are part of me. Yes, those energies are part of God. So to hate them or to fight them or want to kill them back or whatever, no, they are just a energy. And right now, those energies, that illusion, that bullshit of trying to serve and please and be a puppet or little dog or whatever, I don't know what that energy is no good for anyone, especially me. So are you feeling that illusion? Are you feeling crushed? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling this has no end? Then you see the edge of the illusion. You see that the purpose has met its purpose, and that you now have a choice to see the purpose and to say, no, we're not going to participate in this again. And to say, I end the illusion, I end the experience of debt, of taxation, of government control, of emergency mandates, of people wanting to harm me or hurt me or anything that's keeping you from moving ahead. End that experience. Just state it. I end the experience of, and I would sat there for 2 hours, just anything that showed up in my head that wasn't serving me. I end the experience of dating. I end the experience of relationships with wounded people. I end the experience of taxation, debt, credit cards, interest, loans, car payments, bills, utilities, taxes, anything. Landlords, there's another good one. Rent, anything that just makes it impossible for you to live and doesn't give you freedom of choice, freedom of what you do, what you can do with your time, how, any of that kind of stuff, anything that stops you, any failures you've had in your business, any failures you've had in your marketing of your stuff, any of that kind of stuff, end it. I fucking end it all right here and right now. I'll declare it. And feel your spine straighten, feel yourself start to shift, feel yourself to a new place that's only you, not pleasing anybody, not meeting societal expectations, not doing anything that doesn't align with you, and just sit here and own it. And then once you're in that place of owning it, say, I take all my power back and all my energy back and anything that I bound myself with, and I set unlimited possibility right here and right now for this being of light, me, Paul Anthony Handreader, in this time, in this space, insert your name. And then sit and just feel that void, that space, that new creation. And then as you close, what do you want? I want a beloved in my life. I want that loving relationship, that loving sexuality. I want freedom to play and have fun and to teach about sacred sexuality without anyone showing up in shame or anger, to build temple spaces, to build community spaces, to build spaces where people can join together and break through all this shit, to create high vibrational communities, to create online courses, to feed people the knowledge that they want to have and allow them to make a choice and not force anyone to do it, or you have to have this much money to do it or whatever. Can you imagine a course where you took it and you got to the end of it, and if it changed your life, you got a bit of time, and if it changed your life, you would pay that person the value that it gave, rather than trying to pay it in front and then, oh, you didn't do anything for me. Pay by the change. I help you with your business, help you set up all your technology, all your solutions. When you get to the end, after a year, how good did your business grow? How much money did you make? How much from that you're going to give from your abundance? And you probably get paid even more than you would have got paid any other way. Look at a world like that. End the illusion. Step out of the collective inversion matrix, whatever you want to call it, how it's all been constructed to take our divine birthright away from us and begin to create. Step above it, go to the next level and say, hey, this is my reality. I don't care what anybody else thinks. And then as people see my reality, they're going to join my reality. They're going to want to add their reality to my reality. And then we create a whole new collective that's not around control, not around bullshit, not around inverting people and crushing them. It's about people growing and expanding and loving and seeing each other from that beautiful space. So what do you want? The illusion isn't serving any of us. If anything, it's crushing us into awakening. It's crushing us into ascension. It's crushing us to say that this can't continue to exist. I saw a news video on Tucker Carlson the other day, and the police departments and stuff across North America are imploding because they defunded the police department. Some police departments are 700 people short. It's crushing. It's falling apart. That whole system of control, of hurting people, etc., is going away. Choose something new. Choose something where we don't need police departments. We don't need governments. We don't need taxation. We don't need any of this kind of stuff. We just need a place where people come together and support each other, and we all put in the time and the effort and the other things to make this place and construct all the things we need. Don't force it. Do it from love. You think that stuff's going to last 10 times longer and feel better, and people are going to protect it and keep it up? Yeah. But if you're forced to do it, guess what? There's this discomfort. The illusion just starts to crumble. So look into your illusion, look into what's holding you back, start to acknowledge that you chose it, and take responsibility and say, okay, I don't want this anymore, and start to rise above it. And then that illusion will fade away, And then a new creative space, a blank canvas is ready for you to construct something. Construct it, watch your neighbor construct it, watch your friends construct it. They're going to overlap. And over time, we're going to create something way different than what was. And it's all going to work together because we all have the little pieces of it. Do you think we can create a new collective all by ourselves? No. We join up with other people to make a new collective. These collectives, sustainable farming, permaculture, building small communities where people trade and move stuff between it. That's the new collective, not this centralized capitalistic whatever bullshit we want to call it, where it's all about control and taking money and making profit off everything. Now all of a sudden it's like based on everybody loving what they do and co-creating, and then it expands by 1,000, and then beautiful things happen and everybody has what they need. Exactly the opposite of what we've had. So what do you want? That's the big question. Step above the illusion. I gave you some suggestions and some magic's going to happen. Love you all. Have a great day.